Welcome to Business Focus, a production of the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, LJ Wilson, and today we have Lila Gordon, Executive Director of the Reston Community Center. Today we're going to talk about Ethics Day, which is hosted by the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce, and it takes place November 24th at the Sheraton Reston. We're also going to talk about the Reston Community Center, but before we get started, Lila, can you tell me about yourself?
Sure, LJ. I feel pretty well known to the Reston community. I've worked at Reston Community Center since 1983. And in that time, I started working with arts education there and then became the director of the Arts and Events department. And in 2008, I became the executive director at Reston Community Center. And so I've really had a chance to see the community grow and change, and at the same time have a real solid foundation and grounding with its founding principles and the values by which Reston organizes itself and by which its people live. So I'm very fond of Reston.
Well, thank you for being here and telling me about yourself. How long, and let's just get into the Ethics Day conversation. Sure. How long has the Reston Community Center been a part of Ethics Day?
We've been involved with Ethics Day since its very beginning. The Chamber presented us with the opportunity to work on the program with them. It grew out of a unique idea that some folks involved with the Character Counts Coalition and the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce and our local high school, South Lakes High School, had about connecting the kinds of real-life conundrums and ethical challenges that face people in the business world or in fields that people go into after they finish with their education, and really thinking about helping young people get a feeling for how challenging those conundrums and ethical challenges can be before they get into college and before they go off and find themselves in those kinds of situations without ever having had a chance to really talk about them, explore them, problem solve, debate them. They're not always cut and dried. The answers to life's most puzzling questions are frequently yes or no question answers. They're more often, I don't know, maybe. The kinds of problem solving needed is balancing competing moral or ethical imperatives and trying to make decisions that are very, very tough and very difficult. And that really was so consistent with our mission of helping young people become positive, contributing members of their community, being engaged in positive activities, feeling like a part of the community. So often kids in high school, I think they yearn to be talked to like adults, to be treated like adults. They want to spread their wings and do things that they see the adult members of their community doing. And this was a great opportunity to give kids some opportunities to have those experiences, talk to people in the business community, in the health sector, in all kinds of different company contexts, and explore those really tough challenges, life and death kinds of situations. Life and death choices, choices where the two possibilities aren't the only possibilities, and maybe all the possibilities are right in some way and all the possibilities are wrong in some way. And those are the tough dilemmas that people face in the real world. And giving kids an opportunity to explore those is so invaluable for them in their growth and development. So we jumped on board. We were happy to be sponsors. A really big part of the program is not just the opportunity for the kids to explore ethical dilemmas. A really big part of the program is for adults to participate as table leaders and volunteers. And it's frequently been the case in my experience that people who volunteer for Ethics Day get as much or more out of the experience as the young people who are involved in working on these challenges and problem solving, because it involves small group table discussions, really explore the background of a scenario and a situation. Then you start confronting, well, what are some of the possible paths to take action here? What are the ramifications of those actions? And adults kids are smart, and
Yes.
the adults find the experience just as deep and challenging as the kids do. And I know, for example, our teen director and a lot of the staff at RCC who've participated in the past, they really look forward to it. It makes you feel good about the young people in Reston because they're smart, they're compassionate, they feel very connected to their moral foundations and to the idea of ethics and the importance of ethics in our lives.
I just thought, because last year it was my first Ethics Day, and I did see that aha moment where a lot of the adult volunteers were like, wow, these young people are connected. They do have compassion. It's not, they discover that, we're raising great kids.
Yep. And these are kids who grow up now really in a global community, not just our local community. So they're exposed 24/7 to an onslaught of information that depicts in many times very graphic ways the real problems confronting the world. Look at what's happening, for example, with the refugee situation all over the world. Now, there's an awful lot of issues to consider in those kinds of situations, and they're very tough, very difficult. How to be compassionate, how to be open and open-hearted and open-minded, but at the same time, how to protect your national security, how to figure out how to spread resources across a whole, tens of thousands of people who are hungry, who don't have shelter, who don't have clothing. So these are the kinds of things, kids are seeing this. They are so aware of it. It's on Twitter, it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, they're seeing it on the news, and they are keenly aware of these kinds of situations. And it's imperative that they have the opportunity to talk about the dilemmas that these complicated issues present. So they'll be our good future leaders. They're going to be the folks that we're going to depend on to make the world a better place. And if you don't start with them when they're young, goodness knows it's already too late if you're expecting that to happen when they're college graduates. It takes a long time to grow a solid character, and this is a big part of that process.
With that in mind, and you kind of went through what happens on Ethics Day, what are some of the takeaways South Lakes High School teens get from their experience?
Well, the biggest takeaway, I believe, is that they feel valued. I think that for the kids, the seriousness of the issues, the seriousness with which adults take the opportunity to engage with them, conveys to them that the adults in this community really care about them, really respect them, and really count on them. And I don't think that, anyone really actually comes out and says this is the big takeaway from Ethics Day very often, but I know for the kids, they really feel a powerful sense of connection to the grown-ups, to the elders in their community, and that's really important. It really makes them feel a kind of responsibility to not just to themselves and their families, but to the community as a broader kind of family or a broader concept. So that's the first and best thing, I think. And then, of course, the second thing is the intensity with which their minds are engaged and their hearts are engaged. And the thing about Ethics Day is that it really takes both those sets of muscles. It takes the head stuff and the heart stuff to come up with solutions and possible courses of action that people feel they have a comfort zone with and they've built consensus around and that they think will be the best outcome for the circumstances. So it's a great way to create some new tools for some kids in their toolkits, but most important, to connect those generations of kids, the younger to the adult leaders in their community. It's just fantastic. It's really important.
Well, Lila, I just want to thank you for coming. We've kind of ran out of time, but thank you for joining me today. If you're interested in learning more about Ethics Day, or if you are interested in volunteering, please visit www.restonchamber.org. If you want to learn more about the Reston Community Center, please visit www.restoncommunitycenter.org. .org, excuse me.
.com.
.com.
RestonCommunityCenter.com.
Again, this is Lila Gordon, Executive Director of the Reston Community Center, and I'm your host, LJ Wilson, and thank you for watching Business Focus. Thank you, Lila.